to none. 5 times she has hired the London Palladium just to do her own show to prove that she can still pull in the crowds. 5 times the theatre was sold out. We're delighted to have with us tonight Miss Dorothy Squires.
May I say, you're wrong. Irish's
wrong.
book has sold over 100,000.
You've heard differently.
Yes. However,
Yes.
played him 5 times, yes, thank God.
Listen, you should have been coming into the strains of My Way, because you have.
Yes, yes, I suppose I have really. So has Frank, haven't he? He's done it his way.
Just you two, I think.
Yes, out of 400 records,
Yes.
his and mine, that's right, it's right context. His and mine were the only one that ever reached the chart.
That's
It
right.
was fabulous.
But you two also are allowed to sing it, I think, because you two have done it your way, haven't you?
Well, in retrospect, I've had no choice. I've been fighting Murdoch for about 15 years. I'm now leaving it to the unions, but that's enough of that.
Yes, it's got you into a spot of bother now and again, hasn't it?
Yeah, more than a spot of butter. We won't talk about that because it's political, obviously.
Is it?
But first of all, you said the London Palladium 5 times. We've also played Carnegie Hall, and there's a lot in the audience tonight that were on that flight over. There was a flight over the British Airways, and I met them in New York, and they were there for 5 days, and we'd arranged this with the British Airways, and they were at a Carnegie Hall concert, and then, of course, I went on to Los Angeles in the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, and it was very exciting. So I've hired the Drury Lane about 3 times,
Yes.
and the Albert Hall twice, so it can't be bad.
5 times? Oh,
But-
twice?
Yeah, the Albert Hall. But outside of that, when you say you still draw the crowds, anybody think I'm 190, by the way, you're talking.
No,
No,
not
actually,
really.
you know something, Eleanor? Our show business, it's a very funny business. And some of you, some of us are born, maybe, not egotistical, I mean this, not, with no ego at all. There's something that little extra that's born in us, like Batty, Garland, Piaf, you know. There's something there, and we've all had lousy lives. I know what Batty suffered with men, and I know what I have, you know. But this is something that you play the game for. In other words, you're a target, in other words, you know. But outside of it all, the pleasure is worth it when I hear the audience and the wonderful audiences and the devotion. Because that first Palladium concert, I'll never forget it. It's history now, but I'll never forget it. In all my life, and I merely thought, what's the big deal hiring the London Palladium? You know,
Did you really?
Yes. I didn't think any. I nearly ran into a bus. I thought, why am I going to I was going to Wolverhampton to do a live LP. And Kenny, and my musical director, Kenny and I, now Kenny's played for me since he's 16. And now, I swear to God, he has a picture of Dorian Gray in his bedroom. That picture gets older and he gets younger.
Are we going to get a shot of Kenny?
But you know, we are a team. Nicky Welsh is the arranger. Kenny does a lot of arranging. But we're a team, and neither of us could... I couldn't work. I couldn't think of working without Kenny or Nicky. Because each one of us... For instance, some nights, I probably... You know, it's a lot to remember 2.5 hours on stage. And your memory becomes it's a muscle, really. And they're amazed at my memory, but it isn't. It's our schooling, you know. So some nights probably I'll skip something and Nick goes to Kenny, okay, they've got it right away, and they've got me into the change. It's uncanny, the teamwork. And
How long are you on stage?
well, I opened the Barbican in 1982 when it opened, and we had a 62-piece orchestra, and I did both halves that night. And the incredible thing is that the voice, I always say to God, because don't doubt there is a God. You don't have to go to church and pray. There is the old man upstairs that watches over you, believe me. And I say, touch my voice, God, and keep it. And you hit the top C's at the end of the show. Mind you, I'm husky tonight, but I've got a cold. But outside of that...
You've been sunbathing, haven't you, by the river, that's why.
I did. When Rosemary called me about this show, like an idiot, I didn't realize the river had ultraviolet rays. I came out like a balloon, and it looks like it now, too, you know. I'm all burned under this. And I thought, I'll cancel it, to hell with it. I wouldn't have missed meeting Iris, Gwen, my husband.
Marvellous.
I wouldn't. I think they absolutely...
Yes.
Are you, in fact? You've all been marvellous. You really have. It's been great.
You also rang.
But I come down here, you know, when I come over the borders of Wales, I think, there's something, you know...
You've hired a hall in Wales as well, haven't you?
Where?
Llanelli?
No, there's not a theatre in Llanelli.
Wasn't there a
Unless there's a... Oh, I know what you're mixing it up with. There was a nightclub. They didn't tell me, candlelight club or something. And it was the police, mind you, if I'd have known, my dressing was a cell. Mind you,
Did you feel at home there?
I was absolutely at home. I've seen every stinking cell in London with Rupert Murdoch. I've had water thrown over me. I've had... Oh, you read it. Don't you worry. You won't believe it, but you'll read it.
Oh, yes, it's your book.
Yes, it's not coming out yet. But when you will, you think it's either a night, either this woman's completely mad, which she is, Gwen a Gwen. And either that, or it's a work of a fiction writer, you know.
yes.
And they couldn't possibly. May I say, I think Iris, you know, I heard you read some of her work, you know, and I've read some of it since. And I think it's incredible, really.
It's very Welsh too, isn't it?
Yes, but a turn of phrase is super.
Now, tell me, you've sung in a cage, not just in